Welcome. I am Chelsea from Lifetime Retirement Income, and with me is Ralph Stewart, our founder and managing director. Today we thought we'd pop on and do a short video about the OCR. Do we call it the overrated cash announcement, or is it just...
Certainly pretty frequent, Chelsea.
It really is. We're just going to give a little bit of commentary on this. Today we're not here to give any financial advice personalised. If you are seeking financial advice around your personal situation, we highly recommend seeking an independent financial advisor. But today, let's dig into the OCR, which has kind of made waves of, it's dropped by 0.5% the other day, and this has been seen as positive. I listened to as many economists this morning as I could, and all their takes, and everyone was very excited. They all said about time. Finally, the RBNZ is listening to us. And so that's kind of the narrative on every station that I could listen to this morning, which I find interesting. Obviously, they're saying it's great for getting the economy going, which has been lackluster, to be fair. They think it's great for people with mortgages, and saying that for retail, it's an extremely positive thing. Interesting enough, though, Ralph, you know who's not been spoken about in this situation?
I can guess, Chelsea.
Our retirees. We will head there, but let's just start talking a little bit about the OCR. Ralph, over the last 5 years, I feel like I've been on a bit of a roller coaster, up, down, sideways, around. And, you know, not that long ago, they said, you know, we're dropping the OCR to, you know, stimulate the economy, to get people out spending. Inflation went rampant. You know, they pulled everything back. And then again, we're back at the stage where they're saying, let's stimulate the economy and get everyone spending. And personally, as just an everyday person, Ralph, it really just does not inspire confidence.
I understand, Chelsea. You're talking about monetary policy, and confidence in monetary policy is really important. Monetary policy is probably one of the most talked about events, economics and finance around the world. I think it's a little misunderstood, Chelsea, in that it's quite event-based.
Right.
So in other words, we're going to have an OCR release today and we expect it to go up or go down. And it's always a very volatile place. And there's an expectation that that event will bring about certain economic circumstances. And that's correct. But in truth, monetary policy is moving all the time. Right. The Reserve Bank has a range of 1 to 3% to keep inflation contained. Tries to hit a target of 2%. Today it's 2.7%. And it uses the OCR to stay within that band. So instead of it being an OCR event, it's a constant OCR measure to tame inflation. Let me give you an example. You know I love old classic cars.
Yes.
Not expensive ones, the ones that break down often. But occasionally with my friends we have a car race. But it's not about speed. On the front of our car we put a little plastic basket, like a bread basket, and we put an egg in it.
Yes. And
we try and drive around the track as quickly as we can without breaking the egg. And that's monetary policy, because the egg is inflation and the accelerator is OCR. So OCR on and off to try and get the car to go around the track as quickly as you can without breaking the egg or exceeding the inflation target.
Right. I'd just like to call you out a little bit on, I know you don't have expensive old classic cars, but they do cost you a fortune to maintain.
Quite right, Chelsea, quite right.
So let's talk kind of about this, you know, permission to spend. Let's all get out there spending. Everyone's been holding their money back. I checked out the household quarter end December 24, what those results showed us about, you know, the actual increase in costs. And so I found on average, you know, for New Zealand, it was around about 3%. For our lovely retirees, it was not 6, so it was 3 on average around New Zealand for everyone. It was 3.6 for our retirees in terms of the costs. In particular for retirees, what had gone up was it was 15.8% in insurance. We had 12% for rates and property expenses of increases of costs. Further to this, I was just looking at the food prices, and to August 2025, the past year had seen costs go up by 5%. So this narrative of, okay, everyone's got permission to go out and spend, you know, not only for our retirees that can't get pay rises these days, I personally think that I have been spending a lot more. They're just on boring things, like the bills. I feel like all my costs have actually gone up, and telling me I've got permission to go spend and have a great Christmas is a little bit on the nose.
Very good point, Chelsea. The application of monetary policy is universal. So it impacts the whole economy at once, and the economy is made up of different microeconomies, like the retired sector, like the housing sector, like the manufacturing sector, so on and so forth. For example, lowering the OCR will mean mortgage rates come down and people have more spending power in their homes, but they tend to be the working people. Not quite so good for the retired folk. Generally speaking, when the OCR falls, the extra investment income that retirees expect to receive will also fall. And if the OCR works and it stimulates the economy, prices might go up. So for our poor retirees in the retirement sector, returns are going down and prices are going up. Not so good. It is partially offset by NZ Super, is changed every year by the change in prices, so there'll be a bit of recovery there, and the change in wages. But by and large for the retirement sector, the OCR is not going to change much at all.
Right, but what has been changing, and it looks like it's going to change a little bit more, if predictions are right from our economists that we're going to see another drop, that's our lovely term deposits. So let's get to, what our retirees love and enjoy, term deposits. I went back 10 years, so I went, okay, so what were term deposits? And I based them on the 5 years. I went to interest.co.nz for these figures. So basically, in 2025, a 5-year TD was just slightly over 5%. The lowest it's hit in the last 10 years is 0.92%. That was obviously over that COVID period. We saw them rise again in 2023 to about 5.5. And since then, we've dropped back down to basically 4 for a term deposit. And we know our retirees love these. We know they're a standard in a retirement plan. Are they still seen as a practical tool today? What do we use them for? How can we use them in the best approach?
Yeah, got it, Jels. Bit of a hobby horse for me, the role of term deposits in providing retirement income. They were never designed for that, Jels. Term deposits are investment products. And yes, they're safe in the extent that the capital will be returned at the end of the term. And sometimes the interest payments can be paid during the term, but most of the time at the end of the term. But fundamentally, as you call out, Jels, they change. There is no certainty in term deposits. The longest period is 5 years. So a couple of points to make, if you will. First is TDs are safe and they're fine and they're great, but they're about investment, not retirement income. And sometimes it's a little bit of an economic equation, and I hope it's not overcomplicated. But from the term deposit rate, we've got to take off the tax we pay and then inflation. So if term deposit rates are 4%, for example, for 5 years, as you call out, take off some tax, you're getting pretty close to 3. Inflation's 2.7. There's hardly anything left. So one, TDs go up and down, inflation goes up and down, and the combination of the two sometimes can create negative situations. But the real point here, I think, is if you're trying to use term deposits to generate a retirement income, it's pretty hard work.
Yes.
End of the day, you've got to try and understand that for a pension income, it's 20 years, not 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 1 year. It's a very, very different thing. So TD is great for short-term investments, but not for long-term retirement income.
Good to know, good to know. Now, Ralph, you're heading off to Namibia for 3 weeks. And on your return, we're going to hit the road again, aren't we?
We are.
We are. So we are going to be doing our spring seminar series. And this is all about talking about retirement income, about how you can utilise your retirement savings, all the equity in your home. We're going to be up and down the country. That starts in November. So please head to our website if you would like to sign up and attend one of these sessions. What's your high point on why you would attend a seminar series?
Chels. As you can probably see, we love the seminars. We like getting out and talking to people, hearing your issues as much as us sharing with you what we're thinking. We have fun. We get onto the topics of the day and we try and just make life in retirement a bit more informed and easier.
So if you'd like to join us, head to lifetimeincome.co.nz and we'll hear all about Ralph's Namibia stories.